In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this wooden koozie to hold a bottled beverage of your choice. So again, it's a really short video for the most part because I was only filming with my phone and trying to do a little bit of work and then film with the other hand, and then at other times just setting the phone up against my bandsaw or some other piece of material that's in the shop while I was working. So again, nothing formal. I was initially going to do two of these, but I had so many problems making the first one that I just decided to call it quits and not use any more dirty words. So after I got it cut to size, put it into the lathe, and you can see, like, first mistake here, I forgot to lock my tool rest, which thankfully did not catch on the chuck and cause some problems. But the angle's bad, so that's why I'm speeding up the video, so there's not a whole lot to see here, but anyway, just giving you an idea of how many shavings go through and that you can pretty quickly get things down to a cylinder from that rectangle that we started with there. And then the first step is I used a Forstner bit to hollow out the bottom so I could put the bottle opener, and you can see my Forstner bit was way too dull, and it ended up just burning the wood. It didn't actually cut like I needed, so I had to sharpen the teeth off camera, and then ended up getting it the depth I needed, and from there just marked out the inside to the size I need. Once that was marked, then I was able to use a smaller Forstner bit and just pretty much went in about the depth of the meat of this bit, and that'll be plenty for getting the bottle cap in there to open. So you can see that's the difference of these Forstner bits versus a normal drill bit, is they have good openings, so that way the wood shavings and sawdust will get spit out of it. If you just use a normal bit, you have to back it out and start over pretty quickly and frequently. And again, this bit was a little dull too, but it at least served its purpose. And that's about the one piece that went well for me, is actually not having to do this multiple times. That worked out quickly. So once I had the bottom set, just went into sanding and then flipped it around, and here's mistake number 2. I forgot to put the tailstock in and put it up against a piece of wood, so this is what happens. A little frustrating. So anyway, started over, got it reset back in there, and this time put the tailstock into it so I could get rid of the excess material there and get it pretty much smoothed out. Once that was done, and then off camera, I did get rid of that last little ridge. So I started out with a medium-sized Forstner bit, which you can see the smoke coming out of this. It was burning too. So I went all the way down, got it hollowed out as much as possible with that bit, and then switched over to a larger bit. And if I do another one, I'm definitely going to spend the money and buy an even larger bit, so that way it'll be the true circumference of the bottle. Because as you can see here, the bottle doesn't fit, and I don't have any other bits that are big enough to make it fit. So I used the really scientific and complex formula here of just manually hold it and then let your pencil make a dark ring for you. So off camera, I didn't realize I wasn't filming it. I used my turning tools to hollow it out even further to fit the bottle, but you can see it got too thin, and this big chunk just exploded out of it. So I don't have audio for that, thank goodness, because my mom would be upset with me for the language that I was using. But it worked out well, and it creates a little bit more character, you'll see later at the end of it. So here I just used CA glue, tapped it into place, and then some more CA glue. Once that was where I needed it to be, sprayed some activator on there to get it set, and within 15 seconds this thing's pretty solid, set where it's going to be. So starting out with a little bit of rougher sandpaper to get rid of the big pieces, and then just turned it and let all that extra CA glue go. And here I'm using a dowel because there's a lot of friction and heat on that sandpaper if you hold it in your hand, so the dowel just keeps it from hurting my hands too much. And then from there, spent some more time to sand it down, try to get rid of what looks like wet spots there. And then for the inside, to get all the way down inside, you can't get your hand in there very well, so I just taped some sandpaper to the end of that dowel, and it worked really well for me. Again, sometimes simplified processes are the way to go. And then here I used heavy use polyurethane. I really like this stuff. I used it on that coffee table earlier, and it provides a pretty thick coating, and that also helps seal in that crack a little bit. So after 4 coats of that, I took it off the lathe, and you can see where the chuck had the bare wood exposed. So put 4 more coats on by hand here. And then after that dried, I was able to go ahead and insert the bottle opener in the bottom of it. So again, drilling and filming with the other hand is not ideal. So I only showed this part of it because when I tried to go to the other side, the drill bit caught and threw the whole thing to the side. And then here I was trying to screw with one hand, and that certainly wasn't going to work either. And I will say next time I do need to use a bigger drill bit for the pilot holes. So, anyway, here it is all said and done at the end. So the bottle went in there nicely, and it's got really good character, and you can see that crack that I have in there actually works pretty well and gives even more character to it. And there it is, so you get to see it put to use. And that's what it looks like. So the crack's much more noticeable on the inside than outside, but all in all, not a bad little weekday project. Thanks for watching.